Hi Vanessa Rock, the girl on a bike. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking all about balance and giving you some really easy and tangible tools to help improve yours. And improving your balance, I guarantee, is going to improve your riding on a motorcycle. So I'm going to talk you through an array of different exercises that you can do that are going to increase your balance. Now, balance is fundamental to your core. For me right now, I am 9 weeks postpartum of having my first baby, and so my core, my abs and everything is all over the place. So it's particularly topical for me to try and improve my balance and get myself back into fitness and strength riding, but it's also relevant for absolutely anybody who rides a motorcycle. Now, when we look at a motorcycle, it doesn't matter what type of motorbike you ride, whether it's a big Harley Davidson adventure bike, an enduro bike, a trials bike, a sports bike, a track bike, whatever it is, if it's a motorcycle, it's going to have the same fundamental flaw that all of these things have, and that is the fact that they cannot even stand up on their own. I take away this side stand and this bike is straight over, which means the balance is coming from you as a rider to control the weight of the bike, to keep it upright, and to take what the terrain is throwing at you and what your body is doing as well. So balance is absolutely fundamental. You've got 2 contact points with the ground, and this thing that goes on top of the motorcycle keeps it upright. So we're going to go into these exercises. One of the exercises I guarantee you can do twice a day without even changing anything in your day. So stay tuned for that one. The first things that you can do to practice is real core fitness, and the things that you can knit into your day. You don't need any equipment, you don't need a gym subscription or anything like that, and they are going to be really simple squats. I've got full knee frames and boots on, so these aren't going to be my finest squats, but doing squats engages a massive amount of our core through the center of our body, but also a lot of the muscles, the glutes, the legs that we're using on a motorcycle to balance. So getting in a load of squats, when you're doing these squats, make sure you're focusing that your knees don't go over your toes. I'm not a PT instructor, so if you don't know how to do a squat, maybe YouTube some of those things. And then push-ups are another one. I don't actually think I can do a push-up right now with my postpartum body. Let's try it. This is going to be interesting. I haven't tried a full one. Yeah, we can. I'm quite proud of that. I can still do a push-up. I only did one. I'm not going to show you me struggling with a second one. But push-ups, again, engage your full core. If you want to put in even more stuff, you can start doing planks, side planks. Anything that's going to give your core of your body more strength is going to help. And these are things that you can do when you're not on the bike at home. There's another one that you can do at home we're going to get to in a minute, but let's talk about some of the things that you can do on the motorcycle. And the most obvious one is static balancing. Now, depending what motorcycle you have, static balancing might not be feasible. You know, if you're riding a massive adventure bike, a huge Harley Davidson, they are very, very challenging bikes to do a static balance on. So stay tuned for the next ones that will be more appropriate. On a bike like this, static balancing is feasible. It is quite difficult on an enduro bike, and at the moment I obviously don't really have much core because I've just had a baby, but we'll see. My recommendation is to have your foot and your finger on the brake, and you're then going to focus on something on the ground. I tend to find it the easiest to do that. Get up onto the pegs and then practice balancing stationary on the bike. And you'll get to the point where you can hold it for longer and longer. Keep practicing it. Now, after one of my hip surgeries, I actually started going out to the garage and practicing on my trials bike. And I got to the point on my trials bike where I could hold it stationary for 15 minutes. And that was my personal best. But it's one of those things, the more time you commit, the easier it will be. And the smaller your bike, so a trials bike, it's a lot easier. An enduro bike, it's harder. The bigger the bike, the more or less feasible it's going to be for you. We're then going to start riding. So I'm going to put my helmet on. Always make sure you're wearing the right protection. What I'm going to do is throw my goggles off so that you can see me a little bit more easily as I do this. And the next one is actually riding the bike. Now, when we go out riding, it's very easy to commit all of our time to the fact that we are going on the ride and not putting any time into developing our skills. Every time you ride, even if you're commuting to work every day, if you just dedicate a couple of minutes on that ride to some of these drills, you will see an improvement. So the first one of these is slow riding. And that is as simple as it sounds. You're going to be getting onto your bike. You can do this on absolutely any bike. And you're going to practice riding as slowly as you can. If you're not feeling confident, you can do what I call as duck walking and have your feet there to try and sort of stabilize yourself. Because if you're up on the pegs and you go to fall, you're more likely to fall further by the time you've got your foot down versus doing it with your foot down. But that is where momentum is also your friend as well. With a bit of momentum, you can ride out of something. So try and do these skills in an area where you've got space, so that if you do have a wobble, you can just put on a little bit of throttle, and that throttle will balance the bike out and enable you to ride on out of it. So I'm going to start the engine. There we go. And there's two ways you can do this depending on your bike. You've got the sitting down version and the standing up version. So the sitting down version you can do like this. Now, this is incredibly hard to do because you have very limited input from your body to the bike. You are sat on that bike like a heap of potatoes, and your center of gravity is really high on the top of the saddle. You can't use your legs or your body like a cat uses their tail. So that's where I really recommend you get your body up and standing. So I'm going to come up onto my pegs, and then you can use your body and you can use your legs to try and help counterbalance you. And the idea of this one is to try and ride as slowly as you can and get used to that balance. Now right now, as I'm going along this slowly, all of the muscles in my core and my body are working, balancing me. And if I have a wobble, I can just accelerate and pull away from it. You can then take this further and start to go into figures of eights and corners and doing tight circles and leaning the bike on and around and going around in circles. Now, the more confident you get with this, the tighter that circle is going to be that you're going to be able to do, and eventually getting it to the point where you can go full lock. And you'll see that I'm twisting my hips right round, using my shoulders the way that I'm going and opening my body up to the way that I'm going. And they're all things that will help you. But the slow riding practice you can do when that traffic light turns red up in front. Slow down early and practice a little bit of slow riding. Maybe you're pulling into a car park and there's a gap and a bit of space in the back corner. Go use it and give yourself some space to do some figures of eights. All of these things are going to build your confidence so that when you do have to slow ride up to a cafe, into a petrol station, you're feeling more planted on the bike. And remember that center of gravity. When I'm standing up, my center of gravity goes from here on the seat to down here on the pegs. So a much lower center of gravity, and you've got your whole body and torso to move around to help you balance on the bike. And it's about practice doing that as much as possible. I definitely need some more practice at that again now, having had so much time off the bike with pregnancy. Now I find that when I'm trying to do a figure of eight or a slalom, I can be a little bit lazy with myself because I've got space. So I'll just go a little bit wider or bit bigger there. What you can do is get yourself some rocks, some little cones, anything you fancy, and make yourself a course. So you could do a slalom course that you're going to zigzag in between. You could do figure of eights that you're going to go around. But by setting yourself a solid point in the ground, you're making a little bit stricter with yourself to stick to it. Woo! all about practice. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. And the last one that you can do that I promise to tell you, and I challenge you that you can do this at home every single day without having to use any extra minutes in your day, unless you're a really smelly, grubby person, and that is cleaning your teeth on one foot. We all clean our teeth morning and night. Hopefully you should. If you don't, do it standing on one foot, and it is just a couple of minutes twice a day where you're engaging your core. If you find it too easy, close your eyes, because I guarantee you without your senses of your eyes, it gets a lot harder. But working on your balance is a really good way to improve our riding, both off-road and on-road, improve our confidence, and with confidence comes a lot more enjoyment, safety, speed. It's all good stuff. Let me know if you've got any other balance things that you think that we should include in this list. It's great to have a source at the bottom where we can all read the comments and learn from other people's ideas. And let me know if you've got any questions as well. Please also tick the subscribe and the bell so you get notifications of my future videos. I'm Vanessa Ruck, the girl on a bike, and I'm going to keep doing some balance training because I definitely need it right now. Thanks for watching.